Starting from now, we would like to start press conference by Foreign Minister. Floor is yours.
I want to contribute to the enhancement of Japan's national strength, especially economic strength through diplomacy, and for that purpose, I have stated that we will open up new frontiers of economic diplomacy by capturing vitality through cooperation with the Global South and through public-private partnership that respond to the new era. In order for Japan to further demonstrate its global presence through its strong and resilient economy, we will closely work with the business community in an all-Japan effort. And as a specific initiative, in March this year, we held an exchange of opinions with Keidan Ren to hear directly from the business community. We will hold an exchange of opinions with Keizai Doyukai next week, on May 29, as a part of those efforts. We have been receiving a variety of proposals from the Keizai Doyukai, and we would like to take this opportunity to engage in a frank and lively exchange of views. We will continue to promote such efforts to reflect the voices of the business community in the field into the efforts of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and diplomatic missions abroad to support Japanese companies so that we can effectively support Japanese companies that are actively developing their businesses in the severe global competition. That is all from me.
Now, if you have a question, you are kindly asked to proceed to the microphone, and please make sure to mention your name and where you belong to. Asahi Shimbun, Matsuyama-san, over to you. Well, starting from the end of this week, we are going to have the trilateral the summit. As for the Japan, the China ROK the summit, I believe that in principle it is some people says that it is supposed to be held every year, but this is going to be held for the first time in 4.5 years. I would like to know the minister's evaluation on this point. As for ROK, well, at this time, they are aiming for the normalization of the cooperation, but in between Japan and China, there are a variety of issues, including treated water. The minister, how would you like to proceed forward by improving the bilateral relationship? Well, ever since the very first summit had been held in 2008, the trilateral summit had always functioned as a place to have a candid exchange of opinions between and amongst the three countries in regards to a variety of issues. Due to the variety of the reasons, the summit had not been held for the last 4.5 years, but in between, the regional and international situation have went through the huge changes. Against that backdrop, at this time, well, the leaders of the three countries that bears a huge responsibility in regards to the peace and the prosperity of the region would gather together where the discussion will take place in regards to the specific measures and the direction for the cooperation of the three countries. In regards to the regional issues, I believe that this is going to be an important opportunity for the whole region. Well, in between Japan and China, there are a variety of possibilities, and at the same time, including treated water, there are many challenges and concerns. But the both countries bears a significant responsibility for the peace and prosperity of the international society and the region. Well, in between Japan and China, we comprehensively promote the strategic reciprocal relationship. At the same time, our Japanese policy has always been that which is to mutually pay the effort for the sake of constructive and stable relationship. Under that policy, at all levels, we are more than ready to have the close communication.
Next, from Mainichi Shimbun. Odanaka from Mainichi Shimbun related to that about the summit of Japan, China, and ROK. This weekend, we are going to have the summit meeting, but I want to ask about the next meeting after the meeting in Seoul. Japan will hold the presidency. There may be change of movements in the relationship between the three countries, but trilateral cooperation. How do you plan to maintain and strengthen such relationship? What is your understanding at the moment? And for future leaders' meetings and foreign ministers' meeting as the next presidency, how do you want to proceed with the summit? The situation in this region and international situation goes through large changes. So the meeting of the leaders of the three countries sharing great responsibility on peace and prosperity in this region is extremely important. And through that meeting, actual direction and measures of cooperation between the three countries and discuss about this subject is important, not only for the three countries, but for the region as a whole. Towards the next Japan-China ROK summit that Japan will hold the presidency, we hope we can further develop the cooperation between the three countries in a way that we can respond to the current issues, and I intend to do my best for that purpose.
Next question from Ishiyama-san from Kyodo News, please. My name is Ishiyama. I'm from Kyodo News. Well, the Chinese military, since yesterday, have started to conduct a military exercise in the sea and sky surrounding Taiwan. Well, I would like to know its impact against the Japan and China and South Korean trilateral summit meeting. I would like to know your take as a Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So, in regards to the situation in relation to China, we at the government have been following the matter with a strong interest. And at the same time, against China, we have communicated Japan's concern. And at the same time, in regards to the details of the summit, trilateral summit, including the agenda item, we are currently going through coordination. Therefore, including the points that you have mentioned, we would like to refrain from making a speculation. Though, anyhow, the stabilization and the peace of the Taiwan Straits is important not only for the security of Japan and for the stability of the international society as a whole. Well, through the dialogue, we expect that the Taiwan-related issue will be solved in a peaceful manner, which has always been our position as Japan. In regards to the importance of the Taiwan Straits peace and stability, continuously we are going to make sure that we convey to the China side. And at the same time, we are going to closely coordinate with the like-minded nations and the allies, including the U.S. It's important that we communicate this at the position as something that is shared amongst each country. Continuously at Japan, we look forward to the following the development of the coastal relations with a strong interest, and we look forward to continuously paying the effort diplomatically.
Next question, Igarashi-san from NHK. Igarashi from NHK. About New Caledonia. The South Pacific French territory in New Caledonia, there has been riot, there are people killed, and the state of emergency has been issued. Some of the Japanese living have left Australia through air. What is the latest situation of protection of Japanese nationals? In the French territory, New Caledonia riot, as Minister of Foreign Affairs, on the 31st of May, immediately after the event happened, we have sent a consulate mail to the Japanese residing on site asking for their attention. And led by the Director General of the European Affairs Division, we have set a liaison room. We have set organization. On the 17th, we have issued a spot information, and on the 20th, we have issued a Level 2 notice of refraining from traveling unless absolutely necessary. We are asking for their further attention. Japanese who wish to leave New Caledonia at an early stage, with the cooperation of France and Australia, until today, total 42 people have left by air from New Caledonia to Brisbane in Australia. Going forward, we will keep taking close contacts with Japanese who wish to depart from New Caledonia and cooperate with relevant countries to support their departure, and we will do our utmost efforts for their safety.
Next news, Azahari-san from Pan Orient News, please.
Thank you. Khaldoon Azhari, Pan Orient News. The International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants on charges of war crimes for Hamas leaders and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. I'm wondering whether or not Japan supports the ICC's decision to issue an arrest warrant to Israeli Prime Minister in particular. And also, in principle, do Japanese officials meet in their official capacities and functions those branded as war criminals by ICC? Thank you.
Well, the ICC pre-trial Channel 1 in the future is going to study the application and evidence submitted by the prosecutor. And then I understand that they are going to decide whether to issue the arrest warrant or not, though this is a matter related to the procedure of the criminal the court. Therefore, in regards to the decision to be made by the ICC, the government would like to refrain from making speculation. Anyhow, we, Japan, as the signatory of the ICC, and at the same time, from the standpoint that this matter has an impact to the situation of Israel and Palestine, we would like, with a strong interest, we would like to continuously follow this matter. Next question, please.
From Anadolu, Mr. Mujan Furkan. Merjan. From Ahmed Furkan. Israel is opposing the recognition of Palestine as a state, and this situation makes it furthermore difficult to reach a solution to a current situation. Recently, Ireland, Norway, Spain has officially recognized Palestine as an independent state. But Japan's stance in diplomacy to Middle East, Japan often stresses the two-state solution. When will Japan recognize Palestine as an independent state? The Japanese government is conducting sufficient diplomacy to recognize as an independent state any changes to the two-state solution. If there is no change in this policy, why is it that Japan is not recognizing Palestine as an independent state? What is the stance of the Japanese government? Japan, so far, has been supporting the two-state solution through negotiations between the parties. Understanding the wishes of Palestine to establish an independent state, we have been supporting efforts of Palestine. Going forward, we will actively continue with diplomatic efforts by approaching Israel and Palestine both directly so that the current situation will reach an early solution and improve the humanitarian situation. And through initiatives unique to Japan, such as the initiative of Corridor of Peace and Prosperity, we will be engaged in developing trust among the parties. As for recognition of a state of Palestine, based on how the peace process will deploy going forward, we will continue to make a comprehensive judgment. So this concludes the press conference. Thank you very much.